All right, we're number 12 here, wrapping up season 39, and GT40 against JA. GT40 loses 5-1. JA definitely earned the win with a one death clear. That's very impressive, but JA was not facing a GT40 that was fully engaged. GT40 already had the number one spot locked up, and because of that, kind of took things a little bit easier. So regardless, good win for JA, and with this win, they did secure the number 2 spot on the in-game leaderboard, so congrats to them. TCN 6-12 against D69. This is D69's least efficient clear since War 1. In fact, it's only their second clear of the season in double digits, and obviously the first one was in War 1. And I don't really know exactly what happened. I know that they finished 8-4. TCN finished 9-3. TCN finished third. Had D69 won this war, they would have finished third. So I'm not sure if they just kind of got railroaded a little bit by TCN's defense, which is very strong, or if maybe they thought that they had been eliminated from top 3 and thus decided not to push. I'm not really sure, but regardless, TCN gets the win there, and they lock up the third spot in game. Salty 3-8 against PBT. DSVG loses MIBR. Now, MIBR, Next, and HCAR are all red on this sheet. They were all docked for this season, and reportedly, and again, I don't really have any concrete info to back this up, but supposedly MIBR actually cheated in this war against DSVG, and just really kind of caps off DSVG's awful, unfortunate season with the ultimate slap in the face. They lose. They finish 5-7. Even after the docks, they ended up 21st on the leaderboard, which is the first spot in Platinum 1. And I will have more on DSVG's season and matchmaking, the issues with matchmaking, and the issues ultimately with the Season 39 final in-game war leaderboard in a separate video sometime later today or later this week. But it's worth exploring. Matrix 5-6 against SSX, and then for Loki, they end the season with Revod, and yeah, they get their 8th win. They finish 6th in game, and then Newn gets the second donut of the season against XK9. LVT, we finished with a 6 death clear against PYCB. Both of the alliances came into the war 5-6 and needed the win to secure Master. They got the win, they secured Master, and we ended up 2nd in Platinum 1. Just very, very disappointing, but it is what it is. We charge ahead. All right, here are the rankings. GT40, TCN, and JA all stay the same. Salty moves up 1, D69 drops 1, DSVG stays the same, and you guys can kind of take a peek at the other rankings. Now, one change, just for some context, because in my next video, which is going to be all about matchmaking, I wanted to switch this up. So typically I'll show the efficiency rank and then the strength of schedule rank. But this is going to show only expected kills per war. And what that is all of the 12 opponents that these alliances faced, their opponents' average deaths per war coming into their wars against their opponents. Okay, so I don't know if I made that sound more confusing than it is, but this is ultimately, at a glance, essentially how many deaths did they have to beat on a per war basis to get wins. GT40, 5.58, that's second hardest. DSVG, in red, 5.38, by far the hardest. And ask yourself, if you knew that your opponent was going to die 5.38 times, or let's just say 5 times, how many wins would you get? DSVG ended up getting 5 wins under those circumstances, and they finished in Platinum 1 in the first spot. Matrix, number 8 there, their opponents had an average deaths coming into their wars of 9.36. How many wars would you win if your opponent was going to die 9 times? they got 8 wins, which I think is pretty standard. So here we have the 3 most interesting. You've got 4 Loki, who drops 2, SGA, who finished 4th on the in-game leaderboard, and then Chaos at number 20 on this sheet. And those are their opponents' average deaths per war coming into their wars against these alliances. For Loki, ask yourself this. If you knew that your opponent was going to die 14 times, how many wins would you get? They got 8 wins. I think a lot of Masters alliances, a lot of the top 10, top 15 alliances in the world would like their odds in almost any war if their opponents were dying 14 times per war. SGA started in Tier 3. Their opponent's average was almost 17 deaths per war. How many wins would your alliance get if your opponent was going to die 17 times and you knew it? And they finished 10-2, and they were 4th on the in-game leaderboard. Okay, and then LVT, we were 5-7. Of the 11 through 20 bracket, we had the toughest schedule. It was a top 10 schedule in the world, and our opponents averaged 8 deaths per war. We had 8 expected kills per war. We ended up going 5-7, and yeah, we missed Master. So anyway, that's it. Again, guys, more on this expected kills, opponent's strength, matchmaking, the in-game leaderboard, specifically the 11 through 20 bracket and Master on the in-game leaderboard is worth a deep dive, and we're going to do that deep dive in another video. So if you liked this, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you want to catch that follow-up video.